Hi, I'm Pamela.
Hey Pam, nice to meet you. I'm Stan Frazier. How are you?
Nice to meet you. I'm doing well. How about you?
Good. We're here from 17th Street Studios in Costa Mesa, California today. We've done a lot of music down here for the past 17 years, including, my old band Sugar Ray. There's been hundreds of records made in this room, and hopefully hundreds more.
Good.
Yeah.
So tell me about your getting into the music and your times. How did you get into Sugar Ray, and how did
Sure.
that all come to fruition?
I'm the founding member of Sugar Ray. I was the former drummer and the main songwriter, and I started playing music when I was in junior high, and then when I got into high school, we started playing with a three-piece band, and then that band turned into Sugar Ray. Right out of high school, we started playing keg parties, going down to San Diego, trying to find our sound. We were this real heavy kind of metal band for a while. Then we loved the Beach Boys, and so we tried to integrate some of that acoustic guitar. And so, our sound was kind of all over the place. But singing harmonies on the beach around a bonfire was kind of like what we really knew how to do.
Right.
So that's how we kind of focused in on our sound and ended up writing the song Fly.
Who are some of your influences?
My range of my influences is all over the map, from Miles Davis all the way up to gangster rap. I love Billie Eilish. I love everything that's out there. I have a 14-year-old daughter, so I get to listen to everything on the radio. I do that anyway, but I know the whole landscape of where music is today only because I'm a music producer, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, and I'm a dad. So I'm all over the map with my influences. So some of the most memorable venues and places I've been, growing up in Southern California, you have the iconic places like the Greek Theater and the Hollywood Bowl. Those places are legendary. I grew up playing in small clubs, the Coconut Teaser,
Right.
all the places we used to go back in the day.
And what are some interesting stories from the road?
Oh man. Well, one story I have from the road, when Sugar Ray was touring, this was probably about 2010, and one of our good friends was Kid Rock.
Yeah.
And Kid Rock was performing at Red Rocks in Colorado, and so we had the night off, and we went to go see our friend Bob. Bob Ritchie's his name, and we went to Kid Rock, and a few beers ensued, and maybe a couple joints were passed, and this guy gets the idea that I need to go streaking across the stage. So it's all documented, so you can Google it. But I just felt like I needed to go streaking. It was summertime. It was hot outside, and I dropped trow and ran across the stage. All these data flashes were going off. All this pyro was going off, and people were like, "What the fuck just happened?" So I streaked across the stage in front of 20,000 people at Red Rocks.
That's memorable.
I'll never hear the end of that one. But yeah, it was super fun. I got tackled by the security at the end. They didn't know I was doing it. So the whole thing basically was just like a big, just train wreck. But it was funny. I think.
Who's your biggest musical crush? Or
my biggest musical crush probably is Sting.
yeah.
Yeah, I grew up listening to The Police, another artist that was being played through the bedroom door of my brother. He just ground The Police. Zenyatta Mandata, Regatta de Blanc, Ghost in the Machine, all those records just ingrained in my head. And in fact, those. So Sting became my musical crush. I got to meet him in Vegas one time. I totally did the Peter Brady thing. My voice cracked. I was totally nervous, sweating. I was like, oh my God. Ah! I don't even remember what I said. He's like, who is this tool shed? I was just such a dork.
So what are some of the songs that you play when nobody's around that you really like, other than Sting?
You know what I like to do when no one's around? I like to listen to a lot of Hawaiian music.
Okay.
I don't know, it just puts me in a mood, and I hear a ukulele and some kind of slide guitar, and I just immediately transport into a really nice place. Right. Even when things are depressing, I try to put on Hawaiian. My wife always comes in and is like, what is this? I go, well, just hold on, and then she listens for 5 minutes, and everyone's in a better mood. And
what inspires you? What gets you to write a song, or when you know that it's the right time, or how a song is progressing? This is it, or this needs a little bit more.
Great. So what inspires me really to write is just daily interactions with society, life, family, and friends and loved ones. I mean, as a songwriter, you know, we do stuff to keep the juices flowing. Sometimes it's not always like, oh, I had the greatest inspiration on the 405 today. Sometimes it's like, okay, I gotta force myself to finish these fucking lyrics.
Right.
Other times they come naturally. Like I'll be like for Every Morning, our song, lyrics popped into my head. I was leaving the studio, I was in the parking lot, the lyrics popped into my head, I ran back in, I cut the vocal, and the next thing you know, we finished the song and it was on the radio. So like, it can come from anywhere. There's a lot of divinity up there in the ether that just sometimes just gravitates into your brain.
Right.
But I use a lot of things as inspiration. I mean, it can be, you know, seeing my family in a happy moment. It can be my friends getting a good wave because there's a lot of surfers down here. It can be anything that really, you know, a perfect sunset. I know it sounds kind of corny, but it's true. It's like, all right, like, life is a gift. You only have a certain amount of time. We're all going to the other side somehow. So you got to just I look for that and try to write about these situations. I mean, every song's already been written. I mean, really, there's not a lot of subject matter that hasn't gone untouched. But you know, you just try to have your own spin on it, your own niche, your own angle, and you know. But sometimes it's tedious, and you're like, okay, I've heard this song like before. I've written this part. What can I do that's clever or different, or what can I do that's the same? And actually, you know, it's a formula. Like it worked before, why won't it work again? So you just you throw things at the wall, you look for a spark of magic, and hopefully, you know, you land on some of them and you catch the firefly in the bottle, you know.
Exactly. Tell me a little bit about what you feel are the secrets to keeping a band together. I know that sometimes it's a very difficult thing to do. The chemistry and everything.
The secrets to keeping bands together, it's listening. I think that's a big one. A lot of the times when you're in a band, it's like, you know, you have 4 members, 5 members, 6 members. It's like having a marriage between each other, right? You have to really kind of nurture that relationship. It's like having a garden, a tomato garden. You can't expect the tomatoes to grow if you don't, spread the soil right, if you don't, you know, fertilize it correctly, if you don't water it. That stuff is all part of the process. So in a band, if you're not doing the work, if you're not, you know, listening and contributing, and if you're just kind of going through the motions, the band is going to have a problem, and everyone's going to kind of identify that. So I think being open and being honest and being just a good listener, and it's hard because you have ego. Right. And ego doesn't listen. Ego's like, my idea is the best. I don't want to hear from you. But if you're a solo artist, that's fine because it's just you and yourself. But if you're in a band, and I think being in a band is a privilege, because you have to. If you accept that you are in said band, then you should be able to bounce ideas off each other, collaborate, and be able to make music together versus just this one force. So I think listening is probably the key, and. It's sometimes hard, you know, you build up a lot of wax in your ears over the years, you know, it's hard to listen.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But the creative process to me is an imperative. I live and die by the creative process. Our mantra here is just show up every day, make good shit, and shut up.
Right. And tell me about some of the projects that you're working on now, like with other band members and everything.
So I started a new band recently in the last year called The Side Deal, and it's myself from Sugar Ray, and then Charlie Colleen, who's a Grammy winner from the band Train. He was a founding member. And then my 2 buddies, Scott and Joel Owen, who are in a band called Pawn Shop Kings, and they made 7 albums. So we've come together as this new band called The Side Deal. And we've got rotating members. We've got Jerry Harrison from Talking Heads, who's producing some of our tracks. And we've got Jeff Skunk Baxter, who was in Steely Dan and Doobie Brothers, who's also involved with us. So we have this collective group that plays out all the time. We've got a bunch of shows coming up. TheSideDeal.com is our website. You can kind of check out what we're going. Then we produce and develop other young artists you probably haven't heard of, but we've worked with, you know, Ashley Simpson, and we've worked with the Dirty Heads and Donovan Frankenreiter, Eric Hutchinson. You know, tons of bands come through this studio. Iration, Slightly Stupid, Long Beach Dub, All Stars. I mean, there's so many, I can't really even think of them at the moment, but we get a lot of business here just because of the legacy and you know, the music that we continue to make here on a daily basis.
Great. So I was trying to think of 3 do's and don'ts that you can tell new artists to watch out for.
Okay. And
things to shoot for.
Got it. So I think a couple good do's and don'ts for the next generation of artists and up and comers. I'd say let's say, do practice, do be considerate to others, and do listen. Those are important, you know. Don't think that you know everything. That's not. No one wants to hear that. You know how much you've done or how long you've been doing it. They just do it.
Right.
Those are the do's. The don'ts. Don't be late.
Yeah.
Don't be late. I don't care. Oh, we're musicians. Like I'm an hour late. That's my thing, dude. No, show up on time. So don't be late. Don't be an asshole.
Right.
Don't be an asshole. It's a really easy concept. I mean, that just you're gonna catch more flies with honey than vinegar in this world. So don't be late. Don't be an asshole. And don't believe everything everybody tells you always. Just go with what you think and what you believe. You don't need to listen to a lot of other people. If you know that you're right and you know you're onto something, follow it and chase it.
Right, and go more with your feel, your gut feel.
Go with your feel.
Right.
Go with your gut.
Okay, good. Alrighty, we'd also like to bring in Casey from Legacy. And
Hey Stan, how are you,
What's
man?
up, Casey? How you doing, dude? Nice to meet you too. All right, we're just
Yeah,
chatting here.
I just wanted to take a moment to introduce myself and say we're honored to have you and Louis is part of Legacy Music Project.
Excellent.
I think we've got something really unique here, and I think with your music and all the other artists that are associated with this, I think there's going to be huge potential. So I just
Excellent.
wanted to thank you for being a part of this. And I'm one of the owners. Pamela's one of the owners, and I want to introduce to you Jerry.
Jerry, come on,
Come on in,
What's up, Jer?
Hey,
What's up, buddy? Nice to see you.
good.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, this is exciting, man. You guys told me about the Legacy Music Project, and from what I've heard, and you guys are telling me who's signing on. It's really exciting to be a part of the Legacy Project, and I think it's an authentic way to put artists together and come up with that really unique sound.
Yeah,
Yep.
agreed.
Authenticity is what brought us together.
Yeah.
Right.
Authenticity is
It's
what brought
what's
me and
gonna-
Casey, Perry, Austin, the four of us together. That was the brain trust that put this together.
Right.
Because we appreciate the fact that authenticity is really what music supervisors are looking for.
Yeah,
That's what they
it's
want.
it's what will make this work.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, fortunately, I don't do anything that's unauthentic. So, that's what we do. We just try to trust your gut. Going back to the the don'ts. Don't. We're not gonna we're gonna just have blinders on for now and just stay in our lane and make the best sounding music and the most authentic music we can make.
Great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks, you guys.
Great.
Anyways,
Thank you.
Pleasure,
Thanks
man.
for
Yeah.
having us.